Ladies and gentlemen, still to come tonight, a gauntlet match for Finn Balor. He has to take on not one, not two, but 3 men in a row. AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, and the champion CM Punk back to back to back as ruled by the commissioner. Many of you will not know who I am, but many more will know what I like. I like chaos, I like destruction, and I like to inflict punishment. I am on a mission to look for the best destructive giants in the world. I am looking to recruit and take the biggest, the meanest, the most freakish individuals and combine them to make my own personal force of evil. This is only the beginning. I will go to hell and back to find the best, and I will unleash them into this company. Excuse me, Mr. Commissioner, with Austin gone, how are you going to handle this Roman Reigns situation?
Roman Reigns? It's not my problem. But if he wants to talk about business, I'll talk. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin may not be here tonight, but he will be here next week for NLW's historic 50th episode. And what about the Commissioner talking about Roman Reigns? Apparently it's not his problem, but he's willing to talk business. What does that mean, and how will it develop in the future? We will see. And what about Rosemary? Talking about bringing chaos to this company? As if we've not got enough chaos on our hands already. And speaking of which, it is now happening. The rematch that people have been waiting for. The Undertaker versus Big E Langston. These two behemoths going to collide. Let's take a look at the brackets right now as they stand. Kevin Owens is the first man to go through to the semi-final. Will it be Big E or The Undertaker joining him? And on Metal, coming up, it is going to be 2 more quarterfinal matches. However, tonight, it's the rematch from Unchained. Big E Langston versus Undertaker. Let's take you now to highlights of that chaotic contest between these two beasts. I think Big E showed us exactly what he was capable of back at Unchained despite losing to The Undertaker. And this is certainly one of the biggest rematches in this company's history. It is the King of the Ring quarterfinals, and look at that. The power of Big E Langston to shove The Undertaker down, and he certainly learned from his mistakes last time, but goes for a shoulder block, and Undertaker fights back with a choke in the corner, and now collapses onto him. The Undertaker wants to win the King of the Ring just like everybody else to get a shot at the heavyweight title, and went for that boot in the corner but got crotched instead, and now hacks out the leg. This is exactly what he did to cut the big man down at Unchained, and he's using those same tactics here tonight. As you can see now, hyperextending that knee over his back and his neck there. Those big tree trunk legs of the Undertaker being worked on, but Taker kicks away and manages to create some separation momentarily. Big E outside. Who is advancing to the semi-finals? That's the question. As Undertaker runs off the ropes, but Big E springs up and a cross body springs into the ring, but a kick out by the Undertaker. Such athleticism and agility, the quickness of Big E. And now Undertaker going for old school, but gets crushed instead in the spinning heel kick. Undertaker on the ramp now, and Big E wastes little time, springs over with the body splash onto that hard steel ramp. And the Undertaker is in no man's land here. Big E, what the, no way, does he want to go for a powerbomb off the stage maybe, but Undertaker backdrops him onto the hard concrete below. No padding out there. And now the clothesline from the ramp to the floor. The Undertaker collides with Big E in an impactful way, and now going to throw his carcass back into the ring. And where is Undertaker going now? He wants to deliver a last ride, but Big E reverses. Has a hold of him in the belly-to-belly suplex. That's 300 pounds that he just lifted in the air and threw overhead. He is not only one of the toughest, he's also one of the strongest in this company. And just sitting right there, good God. German suplex into the turnbuckles, the back of the Undertaker's skull collides with the turnbuckle, and Big E, all the momentum on his side. And Undertaker on the top rope just gets kicked in the face. What is Big E's plan now? He's got a hold of him on that top rope. And the Undertaker reverses him with a tornado DDT. And that was a move out of desperation for the Phenom. The Undertaker with that DDT from the top, and the American Badass calls for his opponent to get up. And is it going to be the same result as Unchained? Tombstone maybe? No! Big ending! But Undertaker scurries away. He's on the apron though. Dangerous times, and Big E goes for the spear! No! Sunset flip by the Undertaker. And now! The Hell's Gate! The same move that the Undertaker used to submit Big E Langston out Unchained. Is Big E Langston gonna submit for a second time? He is trying to inch his way towards the ropes. Undertaker wrenches it in, but the Big E powerful lift up and drops him down. That is freaky strength. Big E learning how to power his way out of it. Oh, but the Undertaker, a kick and flips his way onto the top rope. What is the Undertaker's plan now? But you see Big E stopping him immediately. What quick... Oh my lord! Look at that! A big ending! A big ending from the top rope! And a big one! Big E! Good grief! The Undertaker has lost! Big E Langston has defeated the Undertaker! And Big E Langston is going through to the semi-finals of the King of the Ring. What a huge win! Some may call it an upset, but after what we saw at Unchained, I would have to disagree. Big E deserved to win here tonight. You could see it. There was the power to lift the Undertaker up on the top rope, and ain't no way anybody was going to kick out of a big ending from the top. Undertaker could not believe it. He wanted Unchained, but Big E won here tonight, and it is Big E advancing to the King of the Ring semi-finals, not the Undertaker. He celebrates on the stage, but you gotta say, what an effort by the Undertaker, but he lost here tonight. There's no question about it. Big E Langston won, and the Undertaker's gonna have to pick himself up, but Big E has defeated the Undertaker. Big E advances. And with that victory, Big E scores his biggest win to date against The Undertaker. He is going through to the semi-finals, but the question remains, what is next for the Phenom? Now we look over to the tag team scene in No Limits Wrestling, and last week, what we now know is coined as the Riot Squad, brought their brand of violence over to this company. During the match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Dragons, it was Hideo Itami and Kofi Kingston who came down to ringside, and they attacked everybody in sight. They looked to take out the Lucha Dragons, however it seemed as though Hernandez was going to stop this. But as it turned out, Hernandez was in on it the whole time, turning his back on the Lucha Dragons, as we've seen hints of in the past few months. But what is now being coined as the Riot Squad, this trio of Hideo Itami, Kofi Kingston and Hernandez, laying out every tag team in the ring. Tonight, a number one contenders match was set up, pitting the Young Bucks against the Riot Squad. However, as you're going to see in the closing moments of this matchup, the numbers game may very well have been too much for the Bucks to handle. This match is breaking down before our very eyes. Matt Jackson sending Kofi into the ring post. Hernandez watches on. And a basement drop kick. A baseball slide from Nick. But there's a kick by Hideo. And now he's caught out. The Young Bucks looking for the Meltzer driver. But there's Kofi Kingston to drag him off the apron and deliver that trouble in paradise. And what a kick to the skull by Hideo Itami. Hideo has Nick in the ring as Matt is on the outside. Oh my, what a knee. And the combination, total elimination. And the Riot Squad, in their first match as a team, become number one contenders. And for God's sake, the match is over. Hideo Itami shouting instructions, and what the hell is Hernandez doing with those two chairs? They've beaten the Young Bucks. What more do they need to do? They've got those chairs wrapped around their legs. Both men on the top rope. Oh, and stomping on them. The The Riot Squad stomping on the legs of the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson just had their legs shattered. And just like last week, it is the Riot Squad on top. They have proved their point, they have sent their message, they are the #1 contenders, but this is too far. They may have broken their legs, may have ended their careers here tonight. The Young Bucks, good grief. The Riot Squad on top. And this tag team division is getting even more chaotic by the minute. The Riot Squad in here, causing an impact, and they are the new #1 contenders, but they're going to get their shot at Raven and Rob Van Dam at Insurgents. And speaking of Insurgents, several huge matches have already been made. Let us run down the card for you now. As we know, the King of the Ring final is set to consummate at Insurgents. Who is it going to be though? We know that Owens and Big E have advanced to the semi-finals. Who's going to join them? Is it going to be Galloway, Kane, Neville or Wyatt? Who knows, but the final will happen at Insurgents, and as we've just seen, the Riot Squad is on a roll. They are the #1 contenders. They will challenge the champions, Rob Van Dam and Raven, for the Tag Team Championships at Insurgents. And not only that, another championship going to be on the line, the Intercontinental Championship. Earlier tonight, Seth Rollins said he was the man. Edge disagrees. He speared him out of his boots, and next week, Edge has to go one-on-one with Lesnar. How's that going to affect him going into this Intercontinental title matchup? And the unbeaten streak is on the line. Earlier tonight, Kurt Angle finally accepted the challenge. He has never been pinned. He has never been submitted in this company. Is Daniel Bryan going to become the first man to beat Angle at Insurgents? We will see. And it is no holds barred. Following their chaotic brawl earlier tonight, Batista and Brock Lesnar have been signed, and they have been signed for a no holds barred match. No DQ, no count out. Anything goes. There must be a winner. And there's got to be a winner in this one. NLW Heavyweight Championship on the line. CM Punk defends against his ally, Shawn Michaels, the former champion AJ Styles, and the new contender, Finn Balor. But as we know, Balor's got to go in a gauntlet match right now, and as we saw earlier, here's another man who's going to be eagerly watching the main event, Tyler Breeze. We don't know why he's here, or why he's got a VIP section, but he's going to be watching this, just like we all are, with intrigue. And here comes the man who, win, lose or draw, must fight 3 matches here tonight. The first one, we don't know who it's going to be against. We're going to find that out momentarily, but he's got to face AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels and CM Punk in succession because of what he said to the Commissioner earlier tonight. Commissioner earlier tonight basically went up to Balor and said, are you going to comply with what I've got to say, which as we know is some dodgy dealings, and Balor said he does what he wants when he wants, and he told the Commissioner basically to keep walking or he was going to kick his ass. And well, if I know Balor, I know that's a promise, not a threat. But what match is Balor going to kick it off with? Well, that answers me. He's going one-on-one with a Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, to start this trio of matches. And Shawn Michaels, who's been buddy-buddy with CM Punk, although they had their problems at the Elimination Chamber at Unchained, that seems to be water under the bridge now. They're on the same page. Can Balor survive 3 matches in a row? We'll find out after the break.
Wrestling for me isn't a job, it's my life. Always has been, always will be. I've conquered the big time, I've conquered the indies, I've conquered Japan. What's left? Wrestling is instilled in me from an early age. It's in my blood. I built a wrestling empire with my own 2 hands. You can call it an American dream, but I'm gonna be your American nightmare. I've got one more stop on my list, and there's no limit to what I'm gonna do when I get there.
We're back. This gauntlet match has just started. Finn Balor has to take on 3 men back to back to back, and the first one is Shawn Michaels. And you see the electric chair roll through. Balor on his feet, tries for the stomp. Michaels moves, and now you see the super kick. No! Catches the leg and has it held for the submission. Balor looking to tap out Michaels early on here, but Michaels gets to the ropes. Balor has to contend with this, and then he's got to go up against either AJ Styles or CM Punk, and then another man after that. And there's a knife edge shot, but Balor gets back with one, and there's the double axe handle. And Michaels kips up. It's all very well and good for him to be expending his energy, but Balor has 2 more matches after this. And that's because he annoyed the commissioner by what he said to him earlier tonight, and he's on the top rope and now just gets kicked down. Finn with those lethal series of kicks. That's what's going to win him the world title if he does so. And that Insurgents is going to be a 4-way, but tonight it's essentially 3-on-1. And goes for the coup de grace, but the lariat by Michaels flips Balor inside out. And Balor is hurt. He just got flipped inside out with that lariat. And now Shawn on the top. Gonna deliver the high elbow. Hooks the leg, but Balor kicks out. Just in the nick of time, Balor kicks out, but the commissioner wanted to punish Balor and put him in his place. Well, he did so. And you can see Balor groggy. Michaels sets up for the super kick. Caught. Spins around into a double drop kick. Michaels lands flush in the corner. His head bouncing off the turnbuckles, and now Finn on his feet. Where is he going now? Michaels dazed. Finn looking for a springboard. And the super kick, no! Balor catches the super kick attempt. And the Bloody Sunday, landing Michaels on his neck. And Finn Balor has pinned Shawn Michaels. 1 down, 2 to go. And the thing about this match is, Balor can lose a match, but he still has to go into the next one. But he did win here. So we'll take a look at the replay. Went for the springboard, calculated that kick, and then span it around into the Bloody Sunday and pinned Shawn Michaels. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And Michaels is down. Now there's 2 to go, but who is the next man that Balor has to face by order of the commissioner? Well, here he is, the former heavyweight champion of the world. It's going to be the phenomenal AJ Styles, which means that CM Punk is going to be wrestling Balor last. I'm not sure if CM Punk's got in the commissioner's ear about that to make himself last, but we'll see. Oh! And meanwhile, as AJ Styles is making his way to the ring, Shawn Michaels with a chair to the back of the skull and the super kick. Talk about a sore loser. Shawn Michaels softening up Finn Balor for when he eventually does face CM Punk, his ally. And Michaels, the sore loser he is. And look at AJ checking on Balor. That was a lethal chair shot. And I don't think AJ is... Well, AJ's asking the ref, is this match going to continue? He's asking Balor, does he want to continue? But Balor is on his feet. And I guess the match is going to go on to where it has to. But there's a couple of strikes and blows. But there's the Pele by AJ. And man, right to the back of the skull again. The same area that was targeted with that chair by Michaels. And now picked up. Irish whip, but Balor, he can't even stand, for God's sake. And the referee may have to think about stopping this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if the commissioner got in his ear and told him no ref stoppage. And AJ just doing what he has to do at the moment, go through the motions. Springboard going for the net breaker. He's trying to pick him up, but Balor reverses. And Balor with a paroxysm. Balor's still in this somehow. And I'm sure AJ was going easy on Finn Balor, but you know, we're all concerned about his health at the moment after that chair shot and that super kick. But runs off the ropes into a drop kick, and there you see he's not on his game. AJ doing what he has to do. Going to try and end this early, and that may be the best thing for Finn Balor here, prevent any further damage. He did very well to defeat Michaels, but I'm not sure that he's going to get past Styles. There's a phenomenal forearm. And Balor is actually hesitating to pin Finn Balor. He doesn't want to beat him this way. And AJ, he's a former world champion. He doesn't want to do this to somebody he probably considers a friend. And when he wants to put him away with a Styles clash, and he's telling the referee, "You sure you don't want to stop this?" And on Balor. Balor meanwhile rolls through. And Balor rolls up Styles. Finn Balor rolls up AJ Styles. Catches him off guard. Styles got complacent. He was too worried about the health of Finn Balor, but Balor made him pay. And well, I'm not sure that AJ really had his heart into that one. But meanwhile, Finn Balor has to contend with a third match for God's sake. Clearly this is incredibly unfair, but it's by order of the commissioner, who Finn Balor irritated earlier tonight, so this is his punishment. And look at Michaels, he's back. Obviously, being CM Punk's lapdog, his lackey here, as he tries to help him win and keep his world title intact, but we'll see how that pans out at the Fatal 4-Way in Insurgents. And Balor's hurt, and CM Punk, all he has to do is pin him here. And AJ Styles sticking around to look at this in the bell rings and just going to go for a cover. Oh, Balor kicks out. Balor's not going to be humiliated that easy. And CM Punk irritated that he didn't get the job done easily there. And he calls himself a world champion, and now he's beating up the man who's already been beaten up by two men. Some champion, and there's a kick to the skull. And now CM Punk has the groggy Balor on his shoulders with the GTS. Hooks a leg. 2, 3. And it's over now, obviously. And Balor had no choice, and look at Shawn Michaels celebrating that victory there for CM Punk. It was his handiwork, the chair to the back of the skull and the super kick that did it for CM Punk. He is the champion now, but we will see what happens when it's every man for himself in the Fatal 4-Way at Insurgents. And this gauntlet, Balor survived two men, and here this phenomenal forearm was enough to possibly knock him out permanently, but CM Punk tried to swoop in and take the cover. Balor was having none of it, but following a series of blows, it was the GTS that put away Balor. And now to add insult to injury, for God's sake, this alliance trying to taunt the new #1 contender, showing Balor the title and now slapping him across the face. And well, the commissioner got what he wanted. He made Balor humble. And here's AJ Styles, who earlier was reluctant to put Balor away, and now he's telling Michaels and Punk. He's done some dastardly things in the past, but this isn't his fight to there's no point anymore. It's too far. They should just leave it. And Balor is considered a friend of Styles, so he's going to try and check on him now. But oh no! Michaels tried the sneak attack, and so did Punk. And now Styles having none of it. The forearm spring. Well, it looked as if Styles was going to let them go, but then they tried a sneak attack, and that was a big mistake. Styles grasped to Michaels, and AJ sticking up for his friend. And now Michaels and Punk are retreating. Balor is bewildered. And you want to talk about strong alliances heading into that Fatal 4-Way. Have we seen another one emerge? They show their weapons and they shoot their bullets. AJ and Balor. Is this the alliance to topple the world champion? We will see it in Insurgents.